The second release of the pencil bat was probably the most fun because we released the pencil bat in the beginning of the year, and that release went really well. But we knew that we wanted to release it again because, as we do with our bats, we lock them in the ball, and then we make a ton of people disappointed. And but stock going up to the plate with that bat, that was probably that one. That one gave me butterflies when he went to the plate with that bat because that one was one of my first bats that went in MLB The Show, which was kind of cool to get that into the video game. So
that's surreal.
Yeah.
That's
that was
so
pretty
cool.
Awesome. When they sent me the concept pictures of that for the game, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. Yeah, but I knew it. I was like, I know if I do a Phanatic bat for him, he's going to take it to the plate. I'm like, it is worth whatever we're going to get fined to do this. So he took it to the plate, and we did hear from MLB, and they were. So he's like, well, I might get fined for using it, maybe not, but it's a cool bat, and I want to swing it. And so he took that chance to take it out onto the field, and.
And welcome to Batter Up, the podcast where we swing for the fences in every episode. Today, we are joined by one of the most talented bat designers on the planet. He recently had an exhibit called Swingable Art on display in Philadelphia and currently works with the brilliant minds over at Victus. He's as talented as they come, and I'm excited to introduce him and his story to all of you. His legal name is Bruce Tatem, but everyone knows him as the Bat King. Welcome to the show, Bruce.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really, really fun interview for me. And I hope all of our listeners out there get just as excited about this because you are doing something that, I mean, it's pretty groundbreaking. You are putting art onto baseball bats, and shoot, we're seeing them, swung in games. This is such a fun element to the game of baseball. Could you go ahead and give a little bit of background as to how you got into custom design? And then how did you start designing bats in such a fun way?
Yeah. So, I've been airbrushing since I was 17 years old, and quite a few years older than that now. but I pretty much I've airbrushed on almost anything you can think of. I've airbrushed on, traditional things like clothing and skateboards and shoes and all that. And that career kind of took me towards motorcycle art. So I did that for about 7-8 years. And while I was doing motorcycle art, my name was out there. Victus had a project that needed to get done. And they were looking for an airbrush artist who could do something like specific. And what that was like water droplet effect on a bat. And I was referred to, well, they were referred to me. So anyhow, we got linked up, and they had me do these natural light bats that matched the cans. And I did that project for them, and they loved it. And then they asked me to do a bat for Johnny Gomes. And on that one, I got to do a little bit more of my airbrush, I want to say motorcycle style artwork, because I did skulls and stuff on it. And when they saw that, they were like, all right, how can we get you not to leave the building and just come here and design baseball bats? So that's what really started it. So
that's so cool. And Johnny Gomes, knowing his personality and the guy that he was, skulls and motorcycles, right up his alley. That's perfect. That's a natural connection there. Looking at a lot of your most recent, artwork on bats, gosh, it's all over. I mean, it's you're able to put so much onto a bat that you forget that it's even a baseball bat. Where are you drawing this inspiration? I mean, obviously you have a background in design, but do you see the world in a different way? I could do that on a bat.
Yeah. So I use the analogy. I went to college for computer animation, and when you start learning computer, building objects in 3D, you don't see the world as it is. You see it as how can I build this out of shapes? So that's kind of the way that I look at the world now. It's like, oh, that's cool. Can I put that on a bat? Can I make it make sense? So yeah, that's pretty much. I pretty much think about bats all day long, and what is the next thing that I can put on a bat that I think would look cool on there. And I'm into comic books. I collect statues. I playing cards, Magic, all that stuff. So I have a lot of different interests, and it's fun to be able to meld a lot of that stuff together with my artwork, so that's why you see a lot of influence of that in my art. So
I think that's what is helping you be so successful too. I mean, you can see that it is truly you on a bat. What's been like the most fun project you've done in, say, the last 6 months?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, the second release of the pencil bat was probably the most fun, because we released the pencil bat in the beginning of the year, and that release went really well. But we knew that we wanted to release it again because, as we do with our bats, we lock them in the bowl, and then we make a ton of people disappointed. But we knew we wanted to release it again to give people another opportunity. And with that happening right around Little League Classic, and with Stock going up to the plate with that bat, that was probably that one gave me butterflies when he went to the plate with that bat, because that was like what that was intended to do, was to get that on a major league field, so that was a great feeling. That one was really fun. So, and then a lot of work came after that, because we sold a heck of a lot of them. So, that blew up. I mean, that blew up on like a beyond, because sometimes we get stuck here at Just Bats, like in a bat bubble. Like the way I watch a baseball game, I'm like, oh, what is he swinging? What's he swinging? Oh, he's got the new Marici. Oh, he's got the Chandler. Oh, and like, that's how I see it as a bat guy. But like, I forget that, every 99.9% of everyone else is just watching a baseball game. But when that pencil bat blew up, and when Stott went to the plate in Philly with that bat, it was like, whoa, everyone else kind of joined into this like bubble of bats, and like they saw how cool it was. Cause like I had seen that bat for, 6-8 months, and it almost like was numb to me until I realized, like, wait, this is like happening. People are in on this. That had to be super surreal, especially like, do you have a connection with Stott in Philly, or how did that come about? So Stott was here. He was here, I think, about a week and a half ago. So I got to spend a little bit of time with him. Before that, though, I did a baby name reveal bat for him that he had asked to get done. So that was a little bit of my first connection with him. But we did the pencil bat, and we actually gave the pencil bat to a couple of different Phillies players. And Stott was the guy who was like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna swing this thing. So, because it was something that we had wanted to get on the field. And I'll just give you a little bit about background real quick with what he did in order to get that bat on the field. So I have to do designs. I do them on the computer, and then I have to submit them to MLB, and they have to approve them to be used in the game. So Stott's approved bat was like a Las Vegas to Philadelphia bat. So, but you were like, you know what? Let's get these guys these pencil bats too. And Stott grabbed the bat, and I forget who he asked there, but he's like, can I use this? And the guy's like, I don't know, So he's like, well, I might get fined for using it, maybe not, but it's a cool bat, and I want to swing it. And so he took that chance to take it out onto the field and swinging that thing. And same thing with Harper. Harper, he swung a bat that I had done a bunch of stickers on it, like sticker bombed it for Phillie theme, but the Phanatic bat was not an approved bat. So yeah, but I knew it. I was like, I know if I do a Phanatic bat for him, he's going to take it to the plate. I'm like, it is worth whatever we're going to get fined to do this. So he took it to the plate, and we did hear from MLB, and they were just as excited as we were, because it put a lot of eyes out there. They were like, yeah, how about that? So that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, to get that bat on the field, it wasn't like a straight up thing. It was like, a player had to be taking a risk to go out of the bounds a little bit, and it paid off. So, okay. Well, to touch on the Harper fine, like, we know how much money Bryce Harper's making. Like that's just a drop in a bucket. But has like this past fall, and the way that, those Phillies players have gravitated towards that, has that opened up avenues for you this offseason? Like, is there more in the works for next year in the MLB? Yeah. So, I didn't get a chance to go to winter meetings, but the guys that did go, they said that MLB said they're going to start opening up a little bit more for the customs. So when I first got to Victus, and Harper showed up in Clearwater with that first Phanatic bat that I did for him. We did get a call from MLB, and they were like, if he takes that on the field, we're gonna find you. And so we were like, yeah, we know. But then the following year, I did a bat for Julio Rodriguez. And he started using it in batting practice on the field. All the Mariners photo shoots, he had the bat, and MLB didn't say a word to us. And I think that's when they started to realize that, these things are fun, and they're not hurting the game. They're only bringing more eyes to the game. And so anyhow, so that being said, we're looking forward to 2024 to get more guys like BP bats that they can swing. Like Stott told me, he's like, I don't need to swing the bat that I'm going to use in the game. Like some guys like to swing in BP what they're going to use in the game. And he's like, I'm not one of those guys. So I was like, all right, well, let's get you a BP bat so you got some cool swag in batting practice, So it's nice to know that MLB is opening it up for us, So
that's so good. Like as a baseball fan myself, like it's no secret that baseball needs some freshness, some eyeballs there. And I think what you're doing and what those guys are doing is really, it makes a lot of sense. It's a natural relationship. Like, hey, let's get some cool bats in there. And we got a guy that can make them.
Yeah. So, and it's, there's nothing like I've always tried to stay away from, I'm not going to put Nike on a bat, stay away from any kind of that branding and just play within certain parameters. And, I think everybody should be happy.
Yeah, I love that. Now we're talking about you designing on wood bats. Talk to us about some of the challenges that come with designing on a wood bat. I mean, you're talking about a 32 to 35 inch piece of wood that naturally is going to have a long, skinny portion and a bigger barrel at the end. Like what makes it difficult to design on a bat?
A lot.
Yeah, I bet.
It is a lot. It is a lot. There's a lot of things that I have, a lot of designs that I've drawn that I'm just like, all right, I don't have the brain power to figure out how to make this make sense on a bat yet. So I'll come back to that later. But yeah, you have to, I always try and take consideration the roll of the bat. Like you roll it, how's the artwork flow on it? There's a lot. I try to stay away from too much math though, because I like to think that my designs, I can put them on any model. And, sometimes when you design with math on from a specific bat model, then it's really hard to adjust it for another one. So I don't know. I just, it's something I think that I've kind of got a knack for. If I really set my mind out to put something on a bat, I feel like I can figure it out. But yeah, it's certainly not a flat canvas, and but I think that has some advantages because, like I said, you don't really see all the artwork at one time, and I think it's cool when you show one side, and as you roll that thing around, it's like, oh wow, watch person's eyes light up when they see the artwork on the other side. So so
yeah, you get 360 degrees.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
The whole perspective, because I'm sure there's some element to design where you look at it and it's like, oh, that would look really cool, but it only look really cool straight on. And anytime you pick up a bat, it's always going to be different. You're going to be off, and it's gonna flow differently. What's something in the past? I want to try and keep it somewhat recent here. What's something in the past couple of years that you've made and you've kind of surprised yourself at being able to make something that cool?
Wow.
You challenged yourself. I saw your Swingable Art. Let's talk on that a little bit. You had an exhibit. Let's go there actually. Okay. You had that exhibit in Philly. Talk about that.
Okay. So that came around the CEO of Victus, Jared Smith. He had a relationship with Mark, get his last name. Mike. It's actually Mike Starkowski or something like that. But anyhow, he had a relationship with him. And he runs the gallery, and it came about because Jared was basically like, it would be really cool if you had art, baseball bats in here, and it was one of those things where they were first thinking oh, it'd be kind of cool to tell a story of Victus and all that stuff, and then we got to the place and checked it out, and Mike was like, I'd love to have your artwork in here, and it was a little bit bigger than what we thought it was going to be, so they were like, well, Bruce, you can have the downstairs. I was like, what? And I got to pull this thing with tons of bats. So, but I was like, all right. So I replicated some of the artwork that I had done in the past because I knew that I wanted people to be able to see like Mookie Betts, Derby bat up close, stuff like that. And then I had an opportunity to do some new stuff that hasn't been released, and then some stuff that was like super like artistic to take me back to my like motorcycle roots of doing like the Joker on a bat, stuff like that. So the gallery was it was an awesome experience. It was a lot of work, but it was awesome. And to see people come in and just their eyes light up and be like, I had no idea. And it's like, it lets me know that that I have a lot more work to do. Like I want it to be something that people are knowing, like, oh yeah, I've seen artwork on a bat before, Bat King's done it, So I want it to be something, but yeah, people were like, I had no idea that people put artwork on bats. So, and it's like, oh yeah, and you can see it in the game. So that's pretty cool.
That was awesome. Like if nobody else out there has seen it yet, like go check out Bat King's Instagram. He's got some videos up there of it, but are there other ways to see it more personally? I know the exhibit's gone now, but
yeah, so the exhibit's gone. Right now, like we're in my office right now. This is probably the only place in the shop that I have stuff displayed, just because where I was set up in the shop, I had a ton of bats, but they moved me to another area, and we're supposed to be breaking ground on like the Bat King studio soon. So I don't know when the Bat King studio will officially be done, but when that's done, that will be kind of a gallery feel where you'll be able to come there and see these cool bats up close.
Can the public come there?
Yeah, so we have a retail shop, and here at King of Prussia,
so cool.
You come in the retail shop, and I'm actually right now I'm on the other side. It's like you come in the retail shop, I'm on the left, they're on the right, so I'm pretty accessible right now. But yeah, so they'll be able to come in and see all the cool stuff, and we'll upload video once the studio gets done and all that, so people can come check it out and meet me if they'd like,
Man, I might have to take a trip up there. That like just seeing that stuff from the like South Park characters to like the spider situation, just the different ones that I saw that I, really caught my eye. Okay. You've recently done, is it the bat heads? Yeah.
So the bat heads I actually created 3 years ago was when I created the first bat head. And that was, Jared had asked me, he said, I want to do a limited drop for Tatis. And so I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? And I was like, I'm going to put Tatis's face on a bat. I'm like, how do I do that? So I came up with the Fernando Tatis, then we call it the El Nino. And that's the one that started. I showed it to him. He's like, I like this. He's like, I think this changes things. So, because I had sunglasses on him, all that stuff. And that was the first bat head. And, I've created a bunch of them since then. And that one was one of my first bats that went in MLB The Show, which was kind of cool to get that into the video game. So
that's surreal.
Yeah.
That's so
was pretty
cool.
Awesome. When they sent me the concept pictures of that for the game, I was like, oh man, this is awesome. So
how does a player go about designing that bat?
What do you mean?
Or is it just you? Like, are you working with the player? Are you working with somebody that's already worked with the player? How does that design go in for the bat head?
So we have our pro rep here, but what Jared wanted to do was he wanted to have a release that we released in Tatis's model that people could buy, and he wanted it to be a limited bat. So that one, I didn't have any input from Tatis on that at all.
Okay.
I created it. The feeling at the shop was that everyone liked it, so we released it, and Tatis liked it. And, I get a little, I don't know, I'm not sure. I got the Marsh Caveman bat behind Brandon Marsh Caveman bat, and that bat, he was doing like an interview, and he was like, I want the picture to be like, who's this caveman coming to the plate? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, ding, 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 there's a bat. So I like drew it up, and he came to the shop, and I was nervous because I had never met him before, and I was like, man, is this guy what's he gonna think of this caveman design on a bat? And he saw it and he loved it. So I was like, all right, cool, I got a winner. So we released that bat as well, and that was a bat that he had input on because I have like toes on it, And I was like, "You okay with me painting the toes?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, man." So that was cool. But yeah, that's a bat he had influence on. That always helps too. That I know the player likes it. And I'm not doing something that they think is like corny or not them. So that helps.
Okay, what else do you have coming in 2024?
Well, I got a lot of top secret stuff coming in 2024.
Well, yeah.
So
open the vault just a little bit.
I'm working on a lightsaber bat. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be called, but I'm working on something like that. I got some graffiti designs I want to do. I got a long list of stuff. I don't know how much I wouldn't necessarily tease.
Of course.
There may be a cool metal bat coming. Maybe keep your ears open and eyes open for that. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming this year. So
that's awesome.
I don't want to give too much away yet.
I know, but it's my job to pry. So I'm going to pry. So say you make a bat, you love the bat, and you're just like, I'm just going to keep it. Does that happen?
It depends because at the gallery I had that Joker bat displayed.
Yeah,
I had a Bryce Harper bat displayed. That was did like a kind of realistic portrait of it. I'm not ready to part with them yet.
Okay.
but the majority of the work that I do, for the most part, I do it with the mindset that I'm going to be having to replicate it.
Yeah.
So because I love doing artwork, but I'm here to make Victus money. So it doesn't help if I got a whole thing of bats and I'm like, I don't give it a video. So I got to make sure I keep feeding them with enough bats that they're making money. They feel comfortable with me keeping a couple that I like a lot. So
nice. That's a good balance there. So we've worked with Victus for a decade now. Pull back the curtain for us. What's it like working with Victus, and what's the culture like at Victus? Because from the outside, I mean, Victus does a great job of being this, edgy. We're different than the norm. We're breaking new barriers. What's it like for you as a designer to work there, and what's the culture like?
Well, the culture is that, I don't know, we have maybe 45, 50 people that work here, and I'd say 46 of them are all about baseball, So
Yep.
you have a staff that is invested in the game, and they're not all Philly fans either, So because people come from all walks of life, and some people stay true to their teams. So we have people that are really invested into the game of baseball and doing their job right and correct.
Yeah.
So the pride that someone has on a lathe sanding down a bat for a major league player, is great. They want that player to go there and be like, oh man, I don't know who worked on this bat, but I need another one by this guy. So that drives a lot of us here, and, we turn out a ton of bats, and everyone here works hard. Like we put in a lot of hours to do what we do, because, Victus, we've been around for 10, 11 years, but we're still young, and we want to continue to grow and push the game. And the only way to do it is to put those hours in, that's what people do here. So, now when it comes to my end of it, designing bats, everybody has an opinion. So, I try to take, as an artist, I used to, I stand in front of a classroom and everyone critiques your work, and that's what you do as an artist. And, if you're not willing to be critiqued, then you better make a lot of money, because you ain't going to make a lot if you're not willing to take creative criticism. So, so I try to take people's ideas and their thoughts, and I try to make it make sense for me. And if I can make it make sense, then I'll adapt it to a bat. So
that's so cool. Like, what a fun job, like beyond fun, like just what an awesome career you've created that, wasn't something that you could tell your second grade teacher you wanted to be when you grew up. Like, I'm going to make awesome bats. What would you tell to like a young designer out there that's interested in trying to do something similar to you?
Like as far as on bats?
Yeah. Or, cleats or gloves, or just wants to get into baseball and wants to make baseball colorful.
Yeah. So the thing to do, especially if you're young and starting out, is don't put too much pressure on yourself. Do do things that you like to do. So if I was, if you're going to create artwork and you're into cartoons, start doing cartoons. You're going to learn techniques and styles and things, and you're going to develop your own unique style. But have fun with it, because when you stop having fun with it, it becomes a chore. That's when you don't love it anymore. So, guys out there are like, oh, I wish I could paint bats like you. And it's like, well, first of all, start with what you know to do, and then build off that. Then try a technique you've never tried before. And you know what? Maybe it might not work, or maybe it does work, and now build on that. So, me having the years that I have a lot of tricks up my sleeves on how to create what I want to create. And the guys around here, I'll show them with nylons, and they're like, "Where'd you get that?" I was like, "Yeah, I was at Walmart buying nylons, because to do the redfish bat, I need a certain pattern, and nylons do it the best, So, it's just you learn the stuff over the years, and just keep an open mind, and taking creative criticism from people, and and see if that helps you become better, at what you're doing, and just keep at it, So, too much. People look for the instant thing. Like, I got to be the best instantly, and it just doesn't happen that way, no matter how much you want it to happen. So,
man, you're a cool guy. Like, I really love what you've got going on there, and I love what you're bringing to baseball, because baseball could use it. I hope more of your bats are shown on a bigger scale, because there's a lot of baseball's future I can see in what you're doing. So I love what you guys are doing. Victus continues to push the envelope a little bit for bats across all levels. I mean, the Vibe bat. I thought the Vibe bat, the design of that this year was awesome.
It was a pretty cool bat, and it was a good price point that didn't break the bank for parents, and it really, we hope that bat is a good introduction bat for people that never swung a Victus metal bat to now pick up a Victus metal bat, and now you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll grab a Notch, or maybe I'll grab a Vandal.
Yeah.
The next step up, and so.
Yeah. Victus is you guys are as solid as they come. I love the work that you guys do there. I never hesitate to recommend a Victus bat. So keep doing what you're doing over there. What's the timeline for designing a bat? Say I was like, hey, Bat King, I want you to create me a telescope. I want a bat that looks like a telescope. How long would that take you?
So, I mean, it really depends. It depends if I sat down at the computer and just started designing, I could have a telescope bat done in a day.
Okay.
So from the time that I get the concept of what you're looking for, from the time that I then create it, I'll do a lot of mock-ups on the computer. I'll do, I'll bring stuff into Photoshop, and I'll lay it around. I'll go to my Surface Studio, and I'll start drawing. But it doesn't take long from a concept. But, obviously I'll want to tweak things from time to time. But it depends on, a telescope isn't a crazy design.
No, it's a natural shape of a bat. But I was thinking, I drop a bomb, 425 to right center. I turn, I put it over my eye, and I look down the bat at it.
Nice. It's a cool idea. So, I've been wanting to do a bat that the barrel just looks like a whole bunch of puzzle pieces all connected.
Oh, cool.
And it sounds cool, but to pull it off is like, man, the 360 and all that. So that one's been a little bit on the back burner. But like I said, it depends on what the design is.
Okay.
How long it might take me to create. So, but I got a lot of design work coming up that I need to get done, and not a lot of time to do it. So.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hop on here today.
My pleasure.
Now we're getting towards the end here, but I did want to know, where's the best place to get a cheesesteak in Philadelphia?
So for tourists, we'll say Pat's and Gino's, because that whole feel of you're in Philly, you're at these places that are open 24 hours. D'Alessandro's in Roxborough, those my favorite.
Okay, so, that's the place.
That's my favorite. That's the place.
Okay,
that's the place.
Okay. So. Now, typically before our guests leave, we do a quick round of turn 2. So it's a quick game.
Yep.
I throw a couple things at you real quick. First thing that pops to your mind, you respond. Are you down?
Oh, certainly. Yep.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, a walk-off home run or rob a home run?
Walk off.
The beach or the mountains?
That's a tough one. Okay, yeah. Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's go with beach.
Okay, not totally sold on that being your answer
from
though.
the country. So.
Hot dog or nachos?
Hot dog.
Wrigley or Fenway?
Wrigley.
Bryce Harper or Jalen Hurts?
That's a tough one. It's got to be Harper.
Okay. Yeah,
it's
you work.
It's got to be Harper.
You work too closely with them.
Yeah. So.
And the last one, a bonus. What is the best
Okay.
Rocky movie of all time?
The one for me, man, has got to be Rocky 3.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
You know, I love Clubber Lang, so
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Bruce, you are awesome. Tell everyone how they can follow your work. Give a little spiel about yourself here.
Sure. So I could never remember my TikTok, but you can start by following at Victus Sports.
Yep.
There you can always stay close to see what the Bat King's up to. But then, you know, @_bat_king is where you can find my personal Instagram. And, you know, the advantage of following mine until MLB says something is I can sneak on like player in-game photos and all that stuff that you might not be able to see on Victus's Instagram. So
Yes.
you get a little bit more of a uncensored feel of what's going on.
Love it.
But yep.
Perfect. Make sure to follow Bruce. Bruce, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.